Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Index Office Hours. Today is the 18th of March, and this is Index Office Hours 199. If anyone is having troubles looking at the agenda or pulling up the agenda, please do let me know. Juan has mentioned that he's having some issues, but I wonder if other people are as well. It seems like it's working fine for Matthew. But if anyone is having any challenges there, do let me know, because obviously I would like to make sure that everyone has access to the agenda. Without further ado, let's get into today's session. So, Index Office Hours is the town square for graph ecosystem participants to come together and discuss the most important and relevant topics for indexes. As always, you know what I'm going to say. This is a conversation and we do love participation. If anyone wants to drop the meme, feel free to. Oh my god, that is jarring. What is that noise? Oh Lord. That sounded like an alien. That was crazy. Just as a reminder, this session is recorded and is going to be posted onto public channels like YouTube. So if you do want to post weird sound effects, go ahead, but just know that will be on the internet forever. Alrighty, let's get into today's agenda. So without further ado, I'd like to talk about the latest 𝗨𝗀𝗳𝗂𝗃 episode. And so it is 212 with 𝗨𝘀𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃. I think that's a reasonable pronunciation of her name, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Oh gosh, Vince, why do you want me to do her surname? Why do you want me to get in trouble? Okay, I'm gonna try. Gosh, here goes. Varshni? Varshni? Varshni. I think that's correct. Is that not correct? Pain is gonna get cancelled. Wait, so is that the correct pronunciation? Can anyone verify if anyone does know how to pronounce the name? I think that Aisha Varshni. Pain, you're gonna get cancelled. Okay, seems like Yash Yash has confirmed Pain likes to do that. Minus 256, that's hilarious. Aisha or Isha. Ooh, yeah, it could be Isha. That's a good point. I don't know. Can anyone try and verify that? That would be great. Yash knows. Okay. Isha. Okay. Thank you. Isha. Isha, and then did I say her surname correctly as well, Yash? Vars Varsh Varshni? Varshni, I think is how I pronounced it. Yes, please. If you want to come on mic, Yash, feel free to help us out here. Teach us.
Yeah, that's correct. It's Isha Varshne.
Oh, amazing. Great. Great. Thank you for confirming, Yash. Really appreciate that. The support has arrived. Yes, to the rescue. Thank you, sir. That was great. That was great. Yeah, it's always good to always good to have a confirmation there. Never off duty, exactly. We appreciate you. Today will be a support focused conversation as well. So Yash is already off to the races there. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm slowly learning how to pronounce people's name, which is which is great. I hope they just get easier and easier. I hope I don't get a curveball later down the line, but let's see. Anyways, okay, she is the head of ecosystem at 𝗨𝘀𝗃𝗀𝗃, and she has roots in India and Kenya, and she's also been a recurring guest on 𝗨𝗀𝗳𝗃𝗀𝗃. She did episode 131 back in August 2023. She talks a bit about her background as a chartered accountant working at KPMG. And then she founded Wealth Boost, Wealth Boost Investments, which is a platform to help India's young professionals build wealth. And then she went to Oxford Business School, where she found out about the future of Ethereum via Vitalik's vision, and she got enamored by the whole world of Web3 and decided to join Celo as their lead ecosystem person. So if you'd like to hear a bit about her story, how she came to Web3, and the amazing stuff that she's doing in Web3, as well as her views on the graph, then do go ahead and check out the episode there. Yeah, very impressive background. Exactly. So yeah, Juan, if you want to repost it because it seems to have been buried, feel free to. And then without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Anna for our regularly scheduled Repo Watch section.
Thank you, Abel. Hello, everyone. Okay, so this week, starting with execution layer clients, the team of Read has been super busy. Here we have 3 new releases. The least recent one is 1.3.0, which includes some performance enhancements for op-read users that significantly reduces latencies during payload processing. There are some critical preparation included in this release for the upcoming Isthmus hard fork and the transition to the new RevM API. Also included. So this is a urgency indicator yellow, so preparations for upcoming hard fork. Then we have 1.3.1, which is a patch release that includes fixes for the REST sub protocol and improvement in system observability. Again, yellow urgency indicator, so not critical release. And then finally, the most recent one is 1.3.2, which adds supports to the Hoodie testnet put nodes and fixes a broken build of the previous release caused by a change in RevM. This is an urgent one for testnet operators to update, but not for mainnet. Then we have a new release from Firehose Ethereum, so 2.11.2, which includes important bug fixes related to error handling and performance enhancements, including better memory management. This also includes providing clear error messages for module execution issues. There are some important fixes here, but no immediate action required, so yellow urgency indicator. On Nethermind, we have release number 1.31.5, which is a mandatory release that addresses critical sync issues on OP stack chains and resolves PLS precompile crashes on older CPUs. So all node operators are required to update to maintain operational integrity. So again, this is a critical release. Please update for Nethermind. Arbitrum Nitro has a new release, 3.5.3, which addresses a critical shutdown issues that could lead to database corruptions. And it includes enhancements for contract visits and compatibility fixes for Spectra parent chain. This is a mandatory release to address that potential critical shutdown and database corruption fixes. So please update as soon as possible. On consensus layers client, we have Prism, release number 5.3.1. This is a critical fix for database integrity and important performance improvements for mainnet. So you should update as soon as possible. And then finally, on the graph stack, we have a new release from Indexer Service. This is the Rust version of Indexer Service, version 1.5.0, which introduces escrow-based signer validation, which enhances security. It also fixes an issue that caused the system to skip processing receipts without versions, improving data accuracy. Let us know if you have had any issues or anything to report with any of these releases. And that's all I have for this week. So over to you, Juan.
Thanks, Anna. Okay, I'll be brief since I'm reading from a notebook, old school. But for Protocol Watch, we start with forum governance. We have GDR 29, which was just opened, I think, yesterday. So we will be taking a look at that through the arbitration processes. Then the CIP tracking document has an update for 4 new chains that are fully supported. That means CK Sync Era, Rootstock, Polygon CK EVM, and Arbitrum Sepolia. That's pretty much it for forum governance. For forum research, we have the core dev updates, and that includes Messari, Semiotic, Pinax, EdgeNode, and GraphOps, which currently publish their updates. All of those are again pretty lengthy, so they're linked in the agenda if you can access it. And yeah, for the contracts and network subgraph, we don't have any new updates, so that is essentially everything. Handing over to you, Abel, now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Just checking for Paco. No, Paco. Okay, cool. So, whoops. Okay, cool. Amazing. So we have a new segment that we're gonna get on with. So we've kind of been teasing it for a while now. And we did a bit of work on this in previous sessions, but this is kind of like the official, I guess, formalization of the new segment that we're going to call Network Watch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and go through a bit more about what we want to do with this session, what we want to get out of this session, and then hopefully we can actually go ahead and start troubleshooting subgraphs today. So what I've done is I've messaged a few people from EdgeNode and Builders DAO, and we have the good fortune of having representation there as well. And yeah, hopefully we have enough here to kick off a great conversation that can hopefully bring us towards better QoS on problematic subgraphs like the ones that we're going to mention today. Official formalization. Yes. I like that GIF. That's a funny GIF. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me go ahead.
Thank you for calling in Microsoft. How may I help you?
You guys are really bringing it back with the with these sound effects. Let me know if people can see my screen. What can you see? Can you see Discord? Yes, okay, you can see Discord. Cool. So I'm going to put this over here, and then I'm going to put you guys over here with my multiple screens. Oh, strange, you can see Discord. Hold on a second. Share my screen. Okay. Make a selection. Share this window. Okay, wonderful. I can see my own message on your screen. Wait, what? Now I see it 1,000 times. Okay, wow. Okay, so can we see the presentation now? I think I can see it on my side. Let's just double check with you guys. Can you see IOH? Okay, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, cool. Alrighty. We're good to go. Good. Cool. So what's the agenda? Gonna talk a bit about what Network Watch is, the purpose, the structure of the sessions, how frequent, duration, metrics we want to review, recurring hosts, as well as other things, and maybe even getting into some meat and potatoes with specific subgraphs today. So I'm going to be very brief. I feel like this might be a bit of a rehash of previous content, so I don't want to spend too much time. So what is Network Watch? Obviously, it's to create a space to have a discussion about QoS of the network, supported by network level and index level metrics. Specifically, we want to, the purpose behind this is to identify problematic subgraphs that have poor QoS. One example that we've been speaking about is the Uniswap v3 contract, which is hard to sync. Indexers have been struggling to perform with this subgraph. It also isn't the best written subgraph, and I believe that Builders DAO are currently working on optimizing that. And with EdgeNode, as well as you guys, we would like to just generally kind of increase QoS. And of course, with the participation of Builders DAO as well. I'm gonna rush through this because I don't want to spend too much time on it. It feels like it's a bit of a rehash. Frequency once a month. We would like to. This is a very important topic, and we would love to dedicate a sufficient amount of time to this. So I'm going to schedule this for once a month. Hopefully, we get to the point where basically a lot of the subgraphs that were problematic are no longer problematic, so that frequency might drop. But at least for the foreseeable future, we're going to have it once a month. It'll be a full session. Who's going to be involved? So we're going to have representation from 𝗨𝗀𝗧𝗧 support team. So today we have the good fortune of having Mickey and Yash with us today. Thank you both for joining. Then, of course, we're going to have the Builder Style folks. We have Derek, and raise your hand who else is on Builder Style, because I'm not sure who's in or out kind of thing. I know there's a few others here as well. So forgive me if I'm
Yeah,
missing.
I think it's just me for today.
Okay, cool, perfect. So we've got Derek, who is amazing. Thank you for joining us. And then, of course, we have you lovely indexers, the top indexers, who can put all your bright minds together to be able to figure out how to best index these subgraphs and get them all sorted. So we're gonna look at, oh geez, sorry, get rid of that. There you go. Oh, this is a bit of a repeat. Sorry about that. Let me get rid of that right now. Okay, so some of the metrics we're going to review. Again, this is not fully fleshed out as of yet, but based on the feedback that we received, I want to funnel this through to the teams that have dashboards like 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗏, and hopefully we can get these metrics on a dashboard like 𝗨𝗨𝗧𝗏. But TBC, do need to confirm with the team. Don't want to set any expectations, but things like this and many other metrics as well that we're going to be reviewing, that's going to inform our approach with Network Watch. So the format is very straightforward. We start with a problem-specific subgraph. I'll source those specific subgraphs from either 𝗨𝗀𝗧𝗏 or Builders DAO or from you guys. We dig into it, and then the idea would be to walk away with some sort of actions for either indexers for you guys to be able to better index these subgraphs, or for Builders DAO to subgraph therapy. Exactly, that's basically it. We're kind of taking it back to the old school days of IOH, where it was more of a clinic format, but specifically focused on subgraphs. So that's the hope for the session. I am very much looking forward to getting this kicked off. And so without further ado, let's get into I like that. Let's get into today's first Network Watch segment. So we've got two subgraphs. So one of them is the Uniswap v3 subgraph that we've been focusing on for the past couple of conversations around this. And then Mickey has also suggested this quick swap one here. Let's first start off by yeah, we do love a Ouija board. That's hilarious. Let's first start off by maybe getting an update from Derek as it relates to Builders DAO, because I believe that you guys are currently focused on optimizing this subgraph. Is that correct?
Yes, and a couple of excuse me, a couple of things with this base full v3 blah blah blah. So the subgraph is currently 1.7 terabytes. Atrocious. We've gone through and we've optimized a lot of the subgraph. We started syncing it. I don't yet have a view on what the total database size is going to be, but we're syncing it in the studio, and it is currently about 34% the way through the chain. Now, obviously, we have a lot of swaps that occur closer to the chain head. And early on the chain, you have fewer swaps or just fewer user activity. So while we're 34% through all of the blocks, we're only about 2% through all of the transactions. And so as we get closer to the chain head, our total block progression is going to go down, and then our the percentage of processed transactions is going to go up. Yeah, I mean, there's 150 million transactions that have occurred on the Uniswap v3 contracts, just as a note. Yeah. So it's quite big. Yep. And they're processing currently about 700,000 transactions per day. So it's not small. Yeah. But we did get some good feedback. We did a call with Revert, who they're the owners of this subgraph specifically. And they're running into this problem where all of our current indexers, right, on the network are at least 200 blocks behind the chain head. And so we kind of have this unusable subgraph to some extent. We can get old position snapshots, but anything that's happened recently is just completely omitted on their app. So we're trying out this kind of like nifty little hacky thing where ultimately we're syncing an optimized version. That just is going to take its time, right? That's going to take weeks, right? And so once that gets into once that's synced, then we can deploy it to the network. I'm doing data validations and all that type of stuff. And then once we're happy with our data and we're like, okay, great, yeah, all the data looks good and it matches with what you guys are currently seeing, I can pass around the QMs and that way you guys can start syncing it. We might be able to sync it even faster than the studio, as we've seen in the past, for whatever reasons. So that's that one. On their existing subgraph, yes, they are 200,000, or at least the closest indexer is 200,000 behind, right? Most are even further, right? What we want to do is we want to graft a new version of the subgraph, the current version. So the current version would be our base, and then we'd have this grafted subgraph. However, grafting is really slow because we have to copy essentially 150 million records for swap and 150 million records for token and token day data and token hour data and pool day data and pool hour data, right? And just for every entity, you have all these different versions because every time a swap occurs, you write a new version to pool token, their manual time series and all these things that the optimized version is going to be a lot better at. So, but a lot of those old versions we can get rid of because they're not querying them. They're not really time traveling on these time series, right? They're querying the last record of the day, but they don't really care about what happened in the middle of the day or at the beginning of the day. They just want to know, what did the end of the day look like? And so we can get rid of a lot of those records from the beginning of the day and the middle of the day using pruning. And after we've pruned this subgraph, well, now token day data no longer has 150 million records. Maybe it only has 3 million. And pool day data doesn't have 150 million records. It has 3 million or whatever. Yeah, middle of the day sucks. Everyone hates it. It's nap time, basically. I say we just delete it entirely. But then once we finish pruning, we can then say, okay, great, let's graft a new version. And then in that grafted version, we can reduce some of the logic and the handlers. And that way we can run things a little bit faster and try to maintain some chain head proximity. And then we'll at least have something that's, semi-workable until we get to this optimized version that we're syncing. All of that is to say, for indexers that are currently synced on the subgraph, if you would like, it would make sense for us to start coordinating a pruning event where we start to go through it, and maybe not everyone at once, because I don't know if that's going to get in the way of. We've got 𝗨𝗨𝗂𝗧, 𝗨𝗨𝗪, Pinax, Wave5, 𝗨𝗨𝗪, the upgraded indexer, and a few others. I'll send you the link right here. Yeah, we'll start a prunapalooza, but it has to be like a relay race. So we're not all pruning at once, because if I don't know if pruning is going to get in the way of query responses. But we're going to want to keep a decent amount of history, because if you prune it to where you're deleting all records and versions that happened prior to this week, and we have a grafted start block prior to this week, then you will no longer be able to graft. So you want to keep enough history that you can meet within that start block time, and we can coordinate on what we want that to be, because I'm going to be deploying this on their behalf. And then we can start that graft in kind of a more optimized version and all that good stuff. Do I want to coordinate that on here? Sure. So internally with Edge and Node, we said pruning it with a once flag, right? It would be this guy. Pruning it with a once flag with 1.4 million. What is that? Yeah, 1.4 million blocks, which would give us basically through February 10th. So we'd maintain the last month of data. And that should take you to basically delete everything prior to block this one, 26.4 million. And then we'll set our grafted start block to 26.5 million, and that way we can easily take all the data and do that whole copy thing. Prunapalooza, very nice. So that's the latest on this one. Yeah, these guys are like they're big users of the graph. Their queries are spread amongst like 40 different subgraphs, so it's not like any one is like a Mondo user, but they are one of the larger users on the decentralized network. So we want to make sure that we give them good service and that they're happy and all that good stuff. That's all I have on this one. So back to you, 𝗨𝗀𝗧𝗪.
Amazing. Thank you, sir. Very much appreciate that comprehensive update, as well as actionable things that indexers can walk away with. So yeah, great, fantastic. Next one we have is from Mickey. Mickey mentioned the quick swap subgraph. So maybe, yeah, great plan. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, getting some nice feedback there from Marc-Andre, Derek. So thank you for sharing there. That was awesome. So Mickey, if you want to maybe speak about that subgraph that you linked to me there, and then maybe we can kick off a conversation about yeah, how we can improve the QoS there, whether it be at the subgraph level or the indexing level. Yeah, feel free to take the mic.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah, so is Yash still on the call? If Yash is still here, I'll just defer to him.
Yes,
He
still
flagged
here.
this as a good discussion topic. I think at a high level, there are multiple indexers allocated on this subgraph, but it's like perpetually 99% synced. But yeah, I'll just hand it off to Yash because he lives and breathes this every day, so he can speak to the issues he's seeing better than I can.
Wonderful. Yash, if you want to take the mic, feel free to.
Yes. So this was flagged recently by the 𝗨𝗀𝗧𝗪 team, and what they're trying to do is, again, they're trying to use some graph, but they're unable to publish a new version. So we're currently battle testing them over there because of the safe functionality is not back yet. They're unable to publish via their safe account. So we are trying to publish it for them, but we cannot since the graph is not on Studio. So from the upgrade indexer point, we cannot index that subgraph. So we are trying to get it to get them published to the network so other indexers can index it. So that is all I have for this particular subgraph.
Do we have a QM for that?
Yes, yeah, we do. We do have it.
If we have a QM, could we just publish it using the IPFS flag in the CLI, just from any old EOA, and that way the studio starts syncing on it?
Yeah, so we Suyas has already published the version of that. So let me try and find that and send it to you guys now.
Hold on, your mic's getting a little tough.
Yeah, sorry, just a sec. I'm just wondering I'm currently in Glasgow and I'm wondering on the street. So just a sec, let me share you quickly the one which Suyas has posted on the network.
Okay.
I missed part of that. He said just a sec to fix his mic.
Yeah,
right?
he's working on his mic.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, I just want to reaffirm what I just want to acknowledge the comment that was said in the chat from Matthew saying happy we're having these discussions. And another thanks to you, Derek. So appreciate you for elaborating there and making this more actionable. That's like the whole point of IOH, and want to make sure that these sessions are very actionable. And it seems like Yash is calling in from a vacation in Glasgow, so we very much do appreciate you for chiming in and supporting us today. what was it that 𝗨𝘀𝗻𝗂𝗧 said about support? He was like, the support never stops or something like that. That's definitely the vibe that I'm getting. So yeah, support has arrived, and you're never off duty. Thank you, sir. Let us know when the microphone is working well, and then we can get people make
One question. Sorry, I'm also like eating lunch right now as I'm chatting. One question. So the struggling one that you mentioned, Mickey, is so that's an old version that they want to migrate off of. They want to kind of use that one as a base and then deploy a grafted version. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe that's true. And what Yash is digging up is the, I think, new one that 𝗨𝘀𝗲 was working on. Yeah, the one that 𝗨𝘀𝗲 published. So once Yash digs up the new one, yeah, he'll share it here.
Okay. Because yeah, I mean, if they have no intent to utilize this 𝗨𝘀𝗲𝗂𝗃, pruning it before grafting, can definitely speed up the graft. I think that
That's a great idea.
if memory serves, that one's a bigger one. Updated 7 days ago. Okay, yeah. So that one is using BG1. The link that Yash just posted, it uses that 𝗨𝘀𝗲𝗃 with a graft block of that.
We could prune everything pre-graft.
Prior to that block, correct.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
you could
cool.
go from whatever that is, 68 million. Yeah, 68 million and before then, and you'd be able to service the graft. Again, if you prune after that, right? If you prune to 68.6 million, you can no longer graft. So be careful when you're pruning. Do the once flag. Yeah, do we know, Pineax, do we know what your failure is on that one? And then do we know definitively that they're going to be migrating to this 𝗨𝘀𝗻𝗂𝗃? I mean, if the studio hasn't indexed it and no one's kind of made it yet, we don't know that that the data is going to be correct, right? Because we haven't done any validation, right?
They have deployed it to Studio. They just cannot publish it to the network right now. So 𝗨𝘀𝗲 did it for them because the current version that they have already has many indexes, but they cannot publish a new version because of the safe functionality right now. So
Okay, but we could just signal this quick swap one, and that could attract indexer attention, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For in some of these circumstances, do we have like okay, great, we're gonna add 3,000 signal or whatever it is because we have someone that has an obvious intent to use this? Like, do we have any type of a ability to do that?
Yeah, so within 𝗨𝗀𝗃, we do have a curation budget that will not continue most likely forever, but for now we do still have it. So if in cases like this or any other cases, a larger DApp needs some help with curation, you can flag that to 𝗨𝗀𝗃 support, and we can get our solutions engineering team aware of the issue, and then they can handle curation.
It seems like giving the support staff so to you, Mickey and Yash, giving you guys the freedom to be able to place signal on some of these guys, where like, in this subgraph specifically, we can definitely
Yeah,
get
so
more
the
indexer attention if it has some signal.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously always want to upskill support as much as possible. It's more of like internal edge and node accounting shenanigans. So we limit it to basically one person on the solutions engineering team who can handle that for us. Yeah, but in those cases, again, if you flag it to us, it's often handled by 𝗨𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀, and he's super responsive. So the delay isn't like there's often not a delay. He jumps on it, within an hour or so.
Amazing. Sorry, were you coming off mute there, Mickey?
Yeah, I just wanted to recap. So let's see. I think we can prune to block, what were we suggesting, 68 million. And then allocate on the new deployment. And I think those are the two internal edge and node actions I heard.
Sweet. Anyone want to chime in on any other actionables for edge and node? See a few people typing.
I mean, I think if we could gravitate to, yeah, signal on it. Yeah. Okay, good. Yep, if we can get 𝗨𝗀𝗃𝗀 to put a little bit on there, then that will, naturally gravitate indexer attention as well. But yeah, prune, start the graft,
Yeah.
and then we should be good.
Also for the current publishing from QuickSwap, it is a lot of back and forth is going on. So it will be published on their account maybe by today or tomorrow. I'll take follow-up on that.
One suggestion too is that when they do get access back to their safe, rather than rebuilding or recode rebuild and deploy, because if they just like change a little bit, then you might get a new QM. Just have them publish directly with this IPFS hash, and so that we definitively get that QM_v7EE into the studio, and that gets the one published, because then indexers in the studio and everyone's already synced on that one. Just as a general note.
Amazing. I love that. I love the knowledge exchange there and the feedback exchange. That's awesome. Any other actionables for this particular subgraph? I want to make sure that just like Mickey was doing for edge and node, I want each relevant party to know the takeaways from each topic discussion. Indexers and then subgraph developers. It sounds like it's mainly an edge node thing in terms of actionables, but correct me if I'm wrong. See a few people typing. Yes, of course. Yeah. Can you? Okay, great. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, amazing, awesome. Thank you, Mickey. Yeah, and I'm assuming indexers are checking that channel, of course. So, you guys will know. Feel free to message me as well, and then I will make a shout out in IOH just to call more attention to that. But yeah, a message in indexers would be amazing. Cool. Let's try and go through other subgraphs. I mean, Mickey, you mentioned another one. However, we did discuss on Slack that it's probably not the most relevant. But if we don't have any other ones to talk about, maybe we could talk a bit about that one. the optimism one from 𝗨𝗂𝗟𝗶. Otherwise, yeah, if there are any other subgraphs either from the EdgeNode side or the data nexus builders DAO side, or just generally indexers navigating the landscape, if there are any specific subgraphs that people want to discuss, like, now is the time. This is the best place. I wanted to have a few to kick off the conversation, but I didn't want to. I want to make sure that you guys have the space to be able to suggest subgraphs. Okay, this one. Go ahead.
I was going to say, before we get back into specific subgraphs, one thing that I think would be smart too is just aggregating some of the quality of service data that we've got access to, and then we can start to see, like, oh, subgraph XYZ has a 95% success rate. That's really bad, and then we can, and it seems to be uniform across all indexers. It's not just one person, right? And so we can identify problematic subgraphs before they come to us and complain about it, and whether that's success rate or just terrible latency or whatever, that could be a way that we're kind of proactively seeing these things, and then we can discuss in Network Watch.
That's a fantastic idea. I definitely
blocks behind might be another good one too.
Blocks behind, perfect. Blocks behind, yeah. The more metrics, the better. I want to funnel all of this to the dashboard teams, namely Graphseer, so that this can all be implemented as some dashboard, and then we can review that maybe at the top of, as you say, like at the top of Network Watch, and be able to. Craig probably already has this. Oh, okay, great. I'm gonna message Craig. That's a good shout. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that would be a really good way of. In fact, let me add that to the format. So like review dashboard. I do like that. Yeah. So review. So the format would be review the dashboard metrics, and then if there are any specific subgraphs, we could focus on them, or identify them via the dashboard, and then kind of dig in and get ahead of it. I do like that. That's a very proactive approach. I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm gonna message Craig as well on that. I'm just gonna make a note so I don't forget. Message. Tricks. Okay.
To your point, Vince, we do agree with you, Vince, that we don't want to perpetuate the problem, like problems consistently from subgraph to subgraph, since a lot of people copy existing subgraphs and all of their issues as well. So we did at the EdgeNode offsite last week, we did raise an idea to possibly block deployments if, for example, a subgraph doesn't have best practices implemented. So the devs are looking to see if it's possible just to reject those deployments entirely and display, in the CLI or somewhere, just display some kind of message explaining what their issue is. I'd maybe even link to the docs if possible, because we are seeing, subgraph Clippy. Aw. We're old. No, I'm just kidding. I think that we really want to get away from this where we're just dealing with the same. It's like whack-a-mole, right? We deal with the same issues time and time again. So that's one thing. Hopefully, we can implement this year.
Mickey, we had a big Clippy discussion in last week's IOH. One thing that we had mentioned was if there was some type of some type of a system that would review a manifest and then pull the schema and review the schema, and then it could see like, oh, hey, we noticed that you have Uniswap day data, or you've got token hour data listed here. Did you mean to use the time series and aggregation feature? Right, and just some way to kind of let subgraph developers know, like, hey, there's a better way to do this. You should do it.
Yeah, I love that. I'm fairly certain Semiotic would be super interested in hearing about this need, given there are AI partners in the ecosystem. That's an awesome idea. Love it.
Yeah. We're gonna bring
One,
Clippy back.
I love it, honestly. It would be helpful. And another idea too, maybe for next week's Network Watch session, my knee-jerk reaction is that Balancer is always having problems. Like we see constant issues being raised in our Telegram chat with them. So perhaps EdgeNode support could summarize the types of issues we're seeing in that chat from Balancer over the past, I don't know, quarter or something, and kind of bin their issues into buckets that we could discuss here next. Probably, I think we could do that by next week, most likely, if that works for folks.
Yes, I will message you on that. That would be pretty handy. And yeah, I'll add that to the agenda for sure. Yeah, I think we have something for next week, but I think yeah, it would be great to kick that work stream off, and then for the next Network Watch we can get that integrated. So yeah, I'll message you on that.
I'm sorry, I forgot you said it was monthly, not weekly. We can wait,
Yes.
totally wait until the next one. It's not urgent. More of an observation that they seem to have constant problems.
Yeah, no, amazing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could always. I mean, I'd have to figure out. I mean, tomorrow the next one is actually the big one, right? It's 200. So yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah. I have some plans, but maybe you could squeeze out some time for this. I'll get back to you on that. I'll get back to you on that. Yeah. So you have the POAP right there with the incorrect spelling. Sorry, I should say, of aluminium. It's just I don't know why we decided to spell it like that. The Americans are wrong, objectively. So here we go. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm gonna get a lot of hate in the comments for that. Sorry. Okay, we got another 7 minutes. Which one has more training? So yeah, we've got another 7 minutes. So maybe is there maybe you can speak a bit about the subgraph we were talking about, Mickey. It's yeah, not super relevant as sounds like it's only the upgrade indexer on that one, but maybe just to share with the group. Maybe there's something that could come up the conversation. I don't know. What do you think?
Yes. Let's see. I'm just grabbing the link here. So I think TLDR probably nothing needs to happen. It was reported to EdgeNode that the subgraph, the upgrade indexer was lagging behind, and Pinax basically jumped in and allocated on it, did us a favor. But I think this should be good once Pinax gets up to chainhead. That should be sufficient. So probably no action here. If things go wrong, then of course we can come back and raise it in a future session.
It is Arc. It's the Arc browser. Amazing. Thank you, Mickey. Appreciate that. Yeah, seems like there's no action required. But yeah, nice to have this on the radar. Time to switch to Zen. I've never heard of Zen, so if you want to link it, I'm happy to check it out. The Zen browser. Okay. Firefox based. Cool. I will check that out. I will check that out. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it feels like there's 1,000,001 browsers that are coming out. Work with good wallets. Oh, good question. Does it? Pain. As long as you can import. No. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to use the last 5 minutes to ask for feedback on Network Watch. We already had one fantastic piece of, well, actually multiple. So summarizing the support requests from Balancer subgraphs would be ideal, and Mickey's going to get onto that. So I really do appreciate that. Another thing that Derek mentioned, which I've noted down, is focusing on metrics and being proactive to find problematic subgraphs. That's also really good. We have a CF. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. Oh, yes, of course. I forgot about that. I'm so sorry. Ignore me. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Slim.
Things gets pretty hectic. A lot of new sections today. So, but yeah, I wanted to update everybody on where we are looking at migrating new chains to the graph network from the upgrade indexer, and it was touched on by Juan earlier that rootstock, Polygon 𝗨𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗀, 𝗨𝘀𝗂𝗃 and Arbitrum Sepolia is already on the network. There is an issue that the indexer agent will not automatically close these. It will not recognize these as supported networks. And as you know, is looking to make a release within this week to update the indexer agent. So keep an eye on that. And we are also handing in 3 new networks for the next batch, which is Sonic, Optimism Sepolia, and Base Sepolia. We have discovered some POI divergences with 𝗨𝗂𝗂, which wasn't surprising because we also found some POI divergences with BSC, and 𝗨𝗂𝗂 is BSC's testnet. So there might be the same issue that was found with BSC might also affect 𝗨𝗂𝗂, the testnet, and they might not have bothered to update the testnet client. So we will be pushing that back. At the same time, we will also take NEAR and Solana off that list. So the current list that we are looking at is this. I posted it in chat. So that would be 4 chains that are already live with rewards, but the indexer agent is not yet updated. Will be updated by the end of the week. Batch 2, the reports will be submitted this week. We hope to get rewards next week if we can get the council and everybody to have their eyes on it. Again, we can't guarantee the rewards are coming there, only that the reports will be delivered, and it's all pending the council vote. And the final batch would be 𝗨𝗂𝗂 and Ethereum Sepolia. Both of these we've seen some POI divergency issues with, consistent divergency issues. So we'll need to investigate those further, and we have an ETA of those in May, just to give some time to figure out what is causing this, what can indexers do to ensure that we at least do not have very consistent POI divergencies. So that's the update on our end. I also updated the sheet, the Notion sheet, showing these, and yeah, we'll keep people posted every Tuesday and keep that page updated. I'll put a link in the chat as well to that page. So thank you, Abel. That's all from my end.
Thank you, good sir, for the update and the reminder and posting the link there. Really do appreciate that. Wonderful. Okay, we're at the top of the hour, but I just want to create tons of great discussion updates today. Amazing. That's the feedback that we love to hear. I wanted to, take a chance at experimenting with a new format, with a new segment. And it's always lovely to hear positive feedback. So I can't believe we covered on the content now. Yes. Yeah, great call. Love the new segments. Awesome. This is why we do it. We love the feedback. This is amazing to hear. Thank you, guys. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. I just want to carve out maybe a minute or so to be able to just hear more from you guys in terms of how we can make the Network Watch segment the best it could possibly be. So any final thoughts before we wrap today's conversation? Love to hear anything, if there's anything burning about the format that people want to. Man, I feel so old. Oh my God, I recognize that. I've recognized a lot of the gifts that you've been posting. Man, I'm getting so old. Jeez. Man. You don't recognize it? Oh no, Pilly, don't make me feel even older. Stop. Oh man. Oh. um, that's hilarious, Slim. Yeah. Hold my beer. Okay, if there's no burning thoughts on how we can improve Network Watch, we'll just call it here. You've got the POAP there. Feel free to grab it. I believe we're still in the window. And as Pilly said, thank you so much to Mickey, Derek, and Yash for joining us today. You guys are instrumental in today's conversation. We got a lot of positive feedback from people. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. And no doubt we'll be seeing all of you again for another edition of IOH next week. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful week and see you soon. Bye-bye.